guys. Long time no see. I can't believe it has almost been 2 months since I did a video. So we're going to have a little bit of everything today. I have some Q&A and some updates for January and February. I've got a bunch of haul. That's what happens when you go on vacation. And plans for this month, for March. So let's get started with, let's do Q&A first. Have to put on my glasses so I can see what I wrote down. I've got a couple of questions from my last regular video, which was in January. I know these are late, but hopefully better late than never, and it will help somebody. The first one I have is from Alex Croft, and she asked if behind me was Teresa Wensler's carousel, which it is. It's right there on the wall there. And she asked, how long did it take me to stitch and what fabric did I use? And I tried to think back when I was stitching back then, before Facebook and Flosstube and online shopping. I was a one whip at a time girl. So, and I know I got it framed here in Arizona. So that means, and I think it was right after we moved here. So I think that I stitched it in about 2003, 2004, right around in there. I have no idea how long it took me, because then in that life I was working full-time. I had an hour-and-a-half commute each way, so I didn't get a lot of stitching in, but I wouldn't even want to venture a guess at how long it took me. And then she asked me about the fabric. It is a linen, but I think it's a 28 count. But boy, I have no idea what kind or anything. I know it's a linen. That's about the best I can do with those questions. And Rena Furman asked where I got the Easy Guide fabric that I'm using for this one. It's the 10 by 10 squares. I got a big old hunkin' big chunk of it from someplace that had it as a special deal, and she's not selling it anymore. But you can get it from Haid and Heaven and Earth Designs, and you can also get it from Charting Creations website. They both seem to have a delay in keeping it in stock. Once they have it, they sell out of it, especially, it seems like, especially the 25 count, which is what I'm using. They seem to sell out of it pretty quick. So you kind of have to be on that and ready to buy when they let you know that they have it in stock. And Barbara Bodie asked about my Celtic Lady and the Petite Treasure braid I used, whether I used one strand or two. And I used one strand crosses. And I think the coverage is just fine. I think it'd be hard to use two strands. It'd be hard to get it through the holes, and it'd be hard to, yeah, I would just use one. That's what I did, and I think it's fine. On the video I did, what was it, a week and a half ago on how I park, I had several questions. I hope I hope that video was useful to some folks. A couple of people said they were going to try it. Feel free to let me know if you have any comments or any more questions, but I'll go through the ones that I have. The first one was from Kelly Banks, and she asked if I use I'll use this one as just to show you. She asked if I use a different thread on each column. And normally I do. That's why I've got this big old hunk of threads down here that are all parked and ready for the next page. The only exception to that would be, see, like right in here where there's some really light colors. You can't tell exactly, but there's some colors right in here that are only had like 5 stitches in this column, and then 4 stitches in this column, and then a couple right in this one. And they're all in the same spot right there, and there's none of them down here. So if I have that, I just go ahead and park them. I'll do like the 4 stitches that are in this column that are complete, and then I'll just take that thread and I will park it over in the next column, and just have it there waiting for the next one. It's just easier for me that way. I guess I just don't play by all the rules, but it just makes it easier, and it's one less thread that you have to stop and start again. So let's see. Annette Navarro asked me what count I was using, and this is on 28 count. I'm doing 2/1 tent stitch. Like I said before, tent stitch, hopefully I'll be able to finish one of these babies. And again, where did I get the fabric? You can get it either at Charting Creations or at the Heaven and Earth Designs website. Busy Bee Jordan asked, what scroll frames do I use? And I use, these are the Quantum frames from the Omanek factory in Estonia. And I gotta say, pretty much the best stitching investment I've ever made. The only other thing that might be better is the Omanek stand that I have. These things are wonderful. The only thing that you have to be careful, and I know that some people have run into this problem, is when you attach it and put it in the little groove here, and then put this thing through it. You know, most people keep 3 inches on the top and the bottom. You really need more than that to use these frames. Or, which I've also done, you can just sew by hand or with a machine, whatever you want, some regular just fabric that you have onto the top of it, and then use the fabric that's in there. That I've done that once. I did that with my Santa's Village, and it worked great because I only had about this much at the top. So I went ahead and added like another 6 inches of just regular random fabric that I had, and it attached and it stayed, and it was great. So let's see. How do you keep... Oh, Patty McReynolds wanted to know, how do you keep track of which thread is which color, especially when you've got like this one and a lot of the colors are so close in shade. And the trick with that is that when you get down to park, is that you are very careful to park it in where the next stitch of that color will be. Now I will go down 2 or 3 squares, which I know some people are just horrified that I would do that, but I do. So if you've got one here, and then you've got the same color, say 3 stitches down and 4 across, that's where you will park that thread. that's the one thing that you really need to be careful of when you're parking, is making sure that when you do park the threads, you park them exactly where that next color's stitch will be. And I always, when I'm done with a block, when I'm done with a column, I go through and I double check them, just to make sure, so that if there's any problems, you can correct it right then and there. Kelly, oh, I can't read my own writing. Slivter, I'm sorry, I wrote it down and I can't read it. And she lives north of me in Arizona. Hi, Kelly. And she's asking about local needlework stores in Arizona. There is one in Tucson, and I've talked about it before. It's called The West. I can give you the address if you want to just message me. I can tell you how to get there. But closer to you, and I'm not sure if it's in the Phoenix area. I don't know which. Oh, I think it's in Mesa. And it's called The Attic. And I've heard really great things about that. But I have never been there. So if you go, let me know how it is. I might have to make a road trip up there someday. And then last question was from Cross Stitch Addict, and she asked if I use the loop method in the actual square you are going to stitch. And yes, I do. When I'm starting a new thread, I do start it with the loop method. Again, I've got an exception to that rule, and that's when I'm starting a new thread. When I'm using like a little piece that I've got left, then I will do the waist knots on the side to start and stop. But they call them waist knots. You don't need to knot them. You just go through and leave, an inch and a half, and they don't need to be knotted, and it makes it a lot easier to cut them off when you're ready to. Now, again, an exception. When I was working on all of this blue, which is pretty much all solid right in here, except for some little pieces like right in here that have gray and some they're supposed to be stars and stuff like that. These, I took big long strands like I regularly do, and I did waist knots, and then I did 5 or 6 columns like that all the way, and just did 4 or 5 at a time, just because it went a lot faster and I didn't have to stop and start it as often. So that's the Q&A. Thanks, everybody. I hope it helps. I'm sure that I probably have forgotten or missed some questions, so please, if I missed you, please don't hesitate to say, hey, I asked you this question 2 months ago, and I never got an answer. So hit me with it again, and I will do my best. So, okay, that's it. Let's go through January, February, an update. I have a finish, and that is my Santa's Village. Now, there's kind of a story. Let me hopefully put a picture of my finished project in here. I didn't want to work on it anymore. So I had 7 houses done. So I made the executive decision of, you know what, 8 houses is enough. So and once I made that decision, it was really easy to go ahead and finish that 8th house. So I take that as a sign that it was the right decision for me. And it's going to cost me a lot less to frame it. and it's going to be a decent size. It won't be huge, and I'm very happy with the decision that I made. So it is at the framers now. Hopefully, I'm trying a new framer. I have high hopes. He does a lot of needlework framing. So, and he's really quick and not super expensive. I should have it back by next Thursday. So I will let you guys know how it works out. I'm hopeful. I saw a couple of things that he did when I dropped it off on Thursday, and I didn't get to look at it real close, but I liked his framing choices. So we will have high hopes, and we will hope that everything works out okay. Okay, so that was my finish. So I now have 4 whips that I'm working on. Let's go through those now. And a forest grew, which I think probably everybody knows what this looks like. I think it's 104 colors of green and brown. So I love this though. It's turning out so pretty. I am almost done with my 3rd page. And I'm doing this with D-Stitcher and Organic Granny and a couple other folks in a little Sal. So it's turning out really nice. Each animal and bird and tree is a little finish. So we're working on that. And then I'm working on Mini Heaven's Window, which you already saw. I started this sometime in December, and I am just going, I love this. I'm going great guns. So you know what? It looks even better from a distance. You can see those little trees down at the bottom. I did almost a whole page of the blue the weekend that I was at the retreat in England. I think I was one of the few that went to a stitching retreat that actually stitched. There was a lot of conversation going on. It was really fun. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. And Kingdom of Books I'm working on. Now this is I've made this my travel project for the year. So whenever we go anyplace, I take this along because I'm doing it in a hoop, and I've had no problems doing it as a travel project. So it is coming along. I'm almost, there we go. I'm working, this green over here is the last book on that side. And then I think I'm going to go up and completely finish this side and the top of the gate before I move on to doing the same thing on the other side. But I'm really enjoying this. It hasn't been hard for me. I substituted out the fabric. This is a 28 count even weave. Because I wanted a little extra room, more room than they gave me with the Ada that came in the kit. But I'm using the kit threads, and they're wonderful. I'm having no trouble at all with the threads. So, and I'm also, the kit recommended using 3 strands. I tried that, and it was just too much. So I'm doing it on 2 strands, and I think that the coverage is fabulous on the whole thing. So, yeah. And then the last one I'm working on is my chatelaine. And I'm doing the Medieval Town mandala, whatever. That one. It is so much fun. And it is so not as hard as it looks. I wish you could see I leave this on my frame all the time, but I wish you could see the sparkles. This is going to be a little difficult because it is big, but so I've done one big corner, and I'm starting up at the houses, doing some houses up at the top. You cannot, no pictures will do it justice. It is so fabulous. All of that gold there, that's all petite treasure braid. It is very sparkly, which I am loving. And all of the gold in that corner there is all petite treasure braid too. So, yeah, I'm doing this with a couple of folks, and we're having fun and helping each other. It's really good. Don't be afraid of these. Really, they're not as difficult as the instructions that make them out to be. And there's lots of help. There's lots of help on Facebook. There's a, I think it's called the Chatelaine Support Group. And the ladies there are so nice about helping you with specialty stitches or what kind of threads, if you want to substitute threads, because some of the ones in the designs have been discontinued. What can you use instead? Or if you don't want to or can't make the commitment for silks, you can use I'm using a lot of DMC in this, and I doubt that anybody would ever be able to tell that it's DMC unless one that was done with all silks was held up right next to it. And really, when is that going to happen? Nobody else is going to know. One thing, I did have one major meltdown. Let me just, let's confess here. Let's confess to our boo-boos. On the corner there, on this corner thing here, I am off one stitch somewhere, and I don't know where it happened. I could not find it. So I had to fudge the whole inside of it. I started with the petite treasure braid right in the middle there and did the swirly bits so those wouldn't end up looking goofy. And then I did the cross stitches to match up. So they are not, it is not exactly what the pattern says, but again, you'd have to hold up another one right next to it to be able to tell. My only issue will be having to match that the same count on all four of the corners is what I'll have to do, but I think I can manage doing that. So those are the ones I've been working on. I think I've gotten quite a lot of progress done. Let's go to RAKs. I got a couple of RAKs. I was so surprised and honored that I got a couple of RAKs. Let me show you, hold on a second. Let me show you what I got if I can find it. Here, there's two of them. I didn't ask the people if I could say their names, so I won't. But I got 2 charts in the last 3 months or so, and the one of them, I love this. I've got to find a cross stitch of a monkey so I can put one up here or one down there or something. But I'm going to do that this year. It's added to my list, and that wouldn't take any time at all. I'm just going to use whatever threads I have. I've got some specialty threads that I can use for this. And so thank you. You know who you are. And then this was just unbelievable. I was racked a chatelaine pattern. The newest, well, not newest now, but it's a new, the Irish mandala. Look at those castles. And you see, it's not a real good picture, but you see the little ponies? There's ponies and sheep on all four corners. And some of the sheep, when you look at the pattern up close, they're looking at you. They're looking straight at you. I can't, and they're all over one, which is a little bit of an issue, but we will persevere. I can't wait to do the ponies. So thank you so much. Again, you know who you are. I so appreciate it. Hoping to get this kitted up this year. So after I finish the medieval town, maybe I can start this one. I think that sounds like a plan. So those were the 2 racks that I got. Thank you so much. Let's go to the retreat. Oh my goodness. I went to England for 13 days. My sister lives about an hour from London. She lives near Bath. My brother-in-law was born and raised in Bath. His mother, my sister's mother-in-law, still lives there. So my sister and her husband are in the process of renovating a large 500-year-old barn into a residence. Quite the undertaking. So we got to tromp around out in the construction area, and I got the grand tour of all the stonework that's being done and the kitchen counters that just are going in, and oh, it's very exciting. They've been working on it for close to 3 years, I think, and they're getting close, but it's going to be something. So I spent about a week with her, and then she put me on a train, and I took the train to Bristol, where I was met wonderfully by Anna and Mary Perkins, and lovely, everybody was lovely. Mary was kind enough to offer to schlep me all the way up to Crewe. So we had, I think it was about a 2-hour drive up to the retreat. And it was really fun to be able to talk to these folks in person. Yeah, it was a little surreal. You walk into the room and there was Pam Reed and Donna and Orietta and Lucy Slater and Christy with a K, and I know I'm forgetting tons of people. Oh, Marika and oh God, I'll think of her name. It was wonderful to meet all these people in person. I said it, and I think other people have said it too. These were my tribe. It was a whole room of my tribe. It was wonderful. The work that people do is just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Speechless at some of the pieces that people are working on that are like this big. Like, they'd hold them up and you could barely see their feet. It just unbelievable. And the lady's like, oh yeah, I've been working on it for 1.5 years. And it's like, must not do anything else, or I'm sure she's a really fast stitcher. It was wonderful. The hotel was great. The food was wonderful. It was cold. Being from Arizona, freezing is really freezing for me. I spent a lot of time with my long underwear on, but it was good. I was ready for it. I was ready. So then I spent 4.5 days there, and then went home from Manchester Airport, which is in northern England. It was a great trip. The hubby and the cat were happy to see me when I came home, which was always nice. So anyway, while I was over there, we did some shopping. Let's go through real quick. Well, maybe not so quick. Where's my... Oop! Oh, sorry. Sorry. No, that's not right. There. I hope this is not wavy like the other ones were. I don't know what was happening with that, but I think it stopped now that I've moved my spot. I got some fabric, of course. I got this. There was everybody. Well, a lot of people had charts and fabric and all different kinds of things that they're not going to use, so they brought them to the retreat and they either sold them or some things were just given away. So I had to help people out so they didn't have to take their stuff home. I got a piece of Charny Chromatic Alchemy. That's pretty good. This is 28 count opal Lugana, and even though it's pink, it might be pretty for a Christmas thing. It's pink with some grayish green modeling, which I thought was really pretty. And I got some Lakeside Needlecraft, and I think this is 28 count even weave. I got 2 pieces of this. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use it for. Let's see how it's a little bit darker at the bottom or the top. Oh, you know. I wonder if this is big enough for a stargazer. I don't think so. I'm going to have to measure because that would be really pretty for a stargazer, and I have that one all kitted up, of course. And this, let's see, yeah, this little guy I got for free. He's a little kid. Isn't he cute? And it comes with everything, with the Ada and all that. I bought. Oh, I don't want to put her name. Okay, we'll just, there. I've never done, I don't have any of these Soda Stitch ones, so I got this. I thought that was cute. I don't know whether I'll ever do it, but it might be a good travel project on some big size fabric that I can just use my mag eyes with. Embarrass my husband. And then I got this from somebody that was selling it for like $3, 3 pounds, 2 pounds, 3 pounds. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Only problem is, do you want to guess how many colors there are in this sucker? It's all DMC. Oh, it also has the conversion to Anchor and Sullivan's on the pattern. 106 colors of DMC. That's more than my forest. So we might have to do a little conversion work on this and cut down the number of threads, but the number of colors. But isn't that cute? And it's all charted so that all of these houses you could do individually. And the tree with Santa and the people and this here, you can do them all individually, or make them how you could do them, make them flat folds or ornaments or something. So maybe I'll do that instead of doing it all in one big piece. I don't know. I just thought it was so cute. Like I don't have enough Christmas stuff. And then they had a raffle. They had raffle prizes, and there were 60 of us, 62 of us, and they had over 70 raffle prizes that people had donated. So I won 2 raffle prizes, and one of them was another piece of Chromatic Alchemy It's a test piece of 32 count Murano, and that's about right. It's a yellowy, orange, not orange, green with a little pink, 13 by 18. I'm sure I love this. It's a test piece. It doesn't have a name. I'm sure I can find something to use that with. And then I also won a Heaven and Earth design chart of my choice. So, and Michelle had donated, I believe, 10 raffle prizes that were charts. So a bunch of us that won, we were all sitting over in the corner with our computers trying to decide what we wanted. So this is the one I picked. I thought, and this is a small picture, but I thought that this was really appropriate for where and for the event where I won it. And it's, can I get this so that it'll focus? London. Life is an Open Book, London. And it just it has anything and everything associated with London and with England. And I do not need another full-size one of these, but this is by Amy Stewart. But I needed to have this London one, so I think it'll be fun to do sometime, whenever. Next time I'll try and get a better picture and post a better picture. That picture is not very good. So while I was visiting my sister, we took a trip and we went to Hampton Court Palace. Don't ask me where it was. It was about 90 minutes from where she lives. And this was a palace. This is their brochure. It was one of King Henry VIII's palaces. Because of the time of year that we didn't do a lot of gardening because it was cold and rainy and there's not much gardening going on right now. But they had 4 or 5 small gift shops, including one that is run by the, oh man, what's the name? I had the name on the tip of my tongue. The Royal Academy of Needlework, I believe it is. It's in London. I really want to go visit that someday. So anyway, charts, fabric, frames, it was great. A little tiny place. My sister was bored to death, but I didn't care. I sit through her stuff so she can sit through mine. And so I got this one kit from this needlework little shop. And it's, what's it called? It's called the House Sampler. And it's a complete kit. It comes with, I think that's a linen. Yeah, looks like it's a linen. And all the threads. I haven't opened it up to see what kind of threads they are. Oh, it's the Royal School of Needlework. And they do classes and a certificate and diplomas and all kinds of things. They also have exhibitions and tours of their facilities. So that's in London, their main place is in London. I would love to go visit that someday. So that was my haul. My haul from vacation, anyway. Then the last things that I had, I've gotten 2 monthly chromatic alchemies, and oh man, I am loving this. I am loving a Fabric of the Month club that actually comes every month. So I've got, what is this? Persephone. And these are all Brittany Lugana and Cassia Rose. Oh, while I was in England, I also ordered some needle minders from Lisa at No More Lost Needles, and she brought them to me at the retreat, so I didn't have to pay for the postage. But so we got a couple of those. A couple of them were specific to the retreat, but I thought they were really cute. I've got some others of her minders. They're wonderful. I would highly recommend them. Even if you're in the United States, her shipping is not bad at all. And she will tell you, you know, I can ship you 6 or however many. I don't remember how. I can ship you this many for this much postage. If I ship you one more, then the postage goes up. So you know how much you're going to pay. They're really wonderful needle minders. And there was, my goodness, I'm just prattling on today. There was a discussion on Stitch Mania a couple of days ago about the rare earth magnets, the ones that are so strong, in relation to computers and electronics, but also in relation to pacemakers and implanted devices. I have an implanted cardiac defibrillator, which is not quite the same thing as a pacemaker. So, and I've never asked my doctor about that. You know, I don't think that I would be comfortable having like hundreds of these near me, but I'm going to ask him. I have an appointment on Wednesday. And I'm going to ask my cardiologist, and I'm also going to see the representative of the company that makes the device that I have. And I'm going to ask him too. They're probably just going to laugh at me and say, oh, you know, don't worry about it. But people were wondering, so I'm going to go ahead and ask, and I'm going to report back to Stitch Mania the end of the week. So, a little bit more haul, believe it or not. This is really embarrassing because I don't normally have quite this much. I had my lovely daughter bought me a gift card at 123 Stitch for Christmas. So I went shopping, and thank you, Jessie Marie, for enabling me, but I didn't go quite as far on the Cricut collection. I didn't do them every month. I did the seasons. So I haven't gotten all of them, but I've got spring and summer. I love that one. I think that's really cute. And then I've got this gold collection, which I have wanted forever. And they had it on sale on 123 Stitch, so I grabbed it. That I think is real. I may switch out the fabric. I know I've got some fabric that would work with this, but I just think that's so pretty. And, folks, I finally got my Silk Weaver fabric. So, I have 4 pieces of fabric from Silk Weaver. My last 4 pieces of fabric to show you. So, they're all Lugana 28 count, fat quarters. This is Illusion. It's a little bit more blue than that. But that would be another one that would go good for Stargazer. So that's Illusion. This is Sundown, which, yeah, it's more pinky. Gray pink. This is Remembrance Rose, which that's just about right. It's a little, yeah, it's a little bit lighter than that. And this last one, this kind of fabric is the reason that I hung on to Silk Weaver for so long. Even my husband gasped when he saw this one. It is called Autumn Days. Look at that. I am not a Halloween person. I've never done a Halloween piece, but oh my God, I saw this and it is screaming for a Halloween piece to me. So I need some help, people. Emily, Eclectic Possessions. I know you're not feeling well, but while you're laying in bed, help me pick a Halloween pattern for this. It's a fat quarter, so I could do probably 2 little pieces or 1 ginormous one. I would love to be able to have your help, anybody's help, in picking a pattern or more than 1 patterns to go on this. It is just, look at that. I'm just so happy with that. And I'm so sad that I can't order from them anymore. I just can't do it. It was just too frustrating. All right, that's close to it. The only other thing I have is March plans. So right now, and now all of my whips are underneath all my other stuff. I can't get to them, but you've seen them. Right now I'm working on the forest. I'm going to work on that for at least a couple more days. I'm going to finish the page that I'm on and maybe work on the next page, which is like in the middle, is going to be really fast. So I may try to do that this coming week. Then I'm going on vacation, people. So I will be gone for like 13 days, and I'll be taking my Kingdom of Books with me for those 2 weeks. We'll have a lot of good stitchy time sitting around and doing nothing by the pool. And then for the last week in March, I will be going back to my chatelaine and hopefully working on some of the houses at the top and maybe working on one more of the big corners with all the blue and all of that. So that's, I think, about it. That's way enough. I haven't done a video this long in a long time. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to message me or put them down below, and I will do my best to answer everything, and hopefully I'll be able to do it a little faster than I have been in the past. So just remember to stitch what you love and love what you stitch, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.